First, let's pay homage to the lineage gurus. Homage to the Venerable Monk Liao Ming. Homage to Master Sakya Zeng Kong. Homage to His Holiness the 16th Karmapa. And homage to Master Dubden Tarji. Homage to the three jewels of the altar. Homage to the main deity of the group practice today, Siddhigarbha Bodhisattvas with the greatest vows. And all the retinue of Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva. Sunu. Tanchen Katso, Tutan Siddhi, all Dharma masters, Dharma educators, Dharma teachers, Dharma lecturers, Dharma assistants, directors of temples and chapters, and all participants here and disciples here and over the internet. Good evening. How do you do?
愛してるシャラネオーラミコque quiero mucho すごい一番気持ちいい住民やびプリンプリンこんばんは今天我们是修地藏王菩萨
Today we practice Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva. We all know that Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva is one of the 8 great Bodhisattvas. And we refer to him as the Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva, the savior of the nether world. And he has made the greatest vows, which is will not become a Buddha until hell is empty. In the Siddhigarbha Sutra, it was also mentioned that when the Buddha was alive, that the Buddha Dharma will be taught by the Buddha. And the Buddha Dharma was the teachings of the Buddha, which is the Buddha taught and everybody listened. And the second part is after the Dharma teaching, you want to prove the Buddha Dharma. So it's divided into the teachings and then the proof. 2 Dharma gates. So there are 2 Dharma gates. When the Buddha was alive, was in the world, of course, all the beings would be corrected by the Buddha. But when the Buddha is not in the world, it was entrusted to Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva.
这佛没有佛住世的时候，就是交给地藏王菩萨。
So when the Buddha is not on earth, then it's being entrusted to Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva.
交给地藏王菩萨。
So
那么地藏王菩萨
all the revenues would be entrusted to Siddhigarbha
叫做翠
Bodhisattva.
微净土，翠微
And Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva has a pure land
这个净土
called the
是
Cui
世人
Wei
知道，
Pure Land.
但很少人能够知道。
This Pure Land is only
那么
known
地藏王
to
菩萨
Grandmaster, and very few other people would
在
know.
中国的四大名山，
Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva of the 4 great Buddhist mountains in
地藏王
China,
菩萨的道场，安徽九
the
华山，地藏王菩萨的
Jiuhua
道场
mountain in Anhui province belongs to Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva.
那么在说法之前呢，
And before the Dharma teaching,
以一个笑话做引子。
I would like to start with a joke.
有一个女生啊，问算命的，
A lady asked the fortune teller, I had
为什么
looked
到
so
现在还
beautiful,
没有遇到？
but how come I have not encountered my true love?
算命的告诉这个女生，
And the
你
fortune
直
teller
直走，
asked the lady,
在右拐。
go straight and then turn right.
这个女生很激动地问，
And this lady was very excited.
转角
So
就可
you
以遇
meant
到
that
真爱吗？
if I turned the corner, I would meet
算
my
命
true
的
love?
摇摇头
And the
说，
fortune teller shook his head and
你
said, no.
直走右拐，
If you go straight and
那
turn
里
right,
有一面镜子。
there would be a mirror there.
我常常讲啊，这个猪八戒的妹妹，
The sister of the
她总
precept
是认
pig,
为她自己很美，
yet she always thinks that she is beautiful.
所以人贵自知啊，
So
人贵自知，
the
人要自己懂得
nobility
自己。
of a person is to understand themselves, to know where their limits are. So
最
today,
珍贵的是，
in our Buddhist studies, the most precious
你
thing
要
is
先了解自己。
you need to understand yourself first.
学佛就是叫你懂得自己，
Our Buddhist practice is to understand
为什么生
ourselves,
为
is
人？
to teach us to understand ourselves. Why were we born as human beings?
身为人有什么好处？
What benefits are there to be born
你
as a
如
human
何利
being?
用你这个人生？
How do you utilize your lives
能够离开六道轮回修行，离开六
to
道轮回
abandon the 6 rebirth
认
realms
识
through
自己
spiritual cultivation, to recognize yourself?
才能够修行。
So you have to recognize yourselves first before you are able to cultivate spiritually.
笑话的引子，
So that's
很多人
this joke as a start. Many people don't know about
因为不懂得
themselves,
自己，
and
可以修
because
行成佛，
they don't know, they don't
所以他
understand
们
themselves,
辈子就算住在有佛法的地方，他们也不懂得修行。
so even if they live at a place where Buddha Dharma exists, they still don't understand, they don't know to cultivate spiritually. Therefore, they will just letting their lives pass by like that. Like I said, at 10, at 1, you were born with merriment. At 10, you are into your study. At 20, you're at the top of your youth. At 30, you're into your career. At 40, you start to gain weight. At 50, you are at your vigorous middle age. At 60, you start to have hypertension. At 70, you start to be forgetful. At 80, you walk wobbly. At 90, you forget about everything. At 100, you hang on the wall. That's it, the whole life. They don't know that they have to practice and follow Buddhist practices, and a human life is wasted. If you're born in the Middle Kingdom with Buddha Dharma, Buddhist teachings, and you don't know to practice. Moreover, if you're born in the remote places without Buddha Dharma, if you're born in the 3 lower realms, you don't know anything about cultivation. If you're born in the heavenly realms, you're enjoying pleasure there, but you still in the rebirth cycle. So you're only able to cultivate spiritually in the human realm. You need to understand yourself, your body, that you can cultivate spiritually, to learn the Buddha Dharma, and to have attainments. Now we will do the question and answer. Asked by a disciple. I understand that many Heruka practices in True Buddha school are uncommon, esoteric practices that should be personally transmitted by the lineage root guru and not by True Buddha school other Vajra masters. If there are practitioners who have followed the development stage practices and eventually reach the Heruka practices, but are financially incapable to attend a ceremony conducted by the root guru in order to receive empowerment and the Dharma teaching, what should they do? Please advise. Let me tell you, in Tantric Buddhism, if you don't encounter your lineage root guru to personally empower you with the uncommon esoteric practices, if you have proofs of spiritual attainments in your spiritual cultivation, that's why I mentioned earlier that Buddha Dharma are the teachings and the proofs or confirmations. if you think or you feel that you have attainments in your spiritual cultivation and you're due to receive Heruka empowerments, if you do have proofs and confirmations, then your own Heruka will appear and empower you and grant you the empowerment. So the Heruka that you ask for will appear by himself. If you already have spiritual union with your yidam, whether seeing it in your dreams, in meditation, or seeing with your eyes wide open, in these three cases, you will be able to receive self-empowerment. You would be able, or you would have seen your own Vajra protector. There is an empowerment, one kind of empowerment that's called the self-empowerment. You invoke your lineage root guru because you have gained spiritual union with your lineage root guru. Then you can invoke your lineage root guru, and your lineage root guru will appear right in front of you. And by seeing personally the lineage root guru, then the lineage root guru will confer the empowerment upon you, the Vajra protector or Heruka practices. Then you would have received the empowerment. This is called the self-empowerment. Very simple, right? Let me tell you. Whom I mentioned, Kelly, who returned to Texas to send off her grandmother. She taught her grandmother to chant the Root Guru mantra, to chant Amitabha, to chant Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva, to chant Hiking Kuan Yin Sutra. And grandmother could not speak anymore, but her eyes could show that she was willing. So Kathy, by her sickbed, continually reminded her to chant the Root Guru mantra and the Buddha's name. At the moment of death, Kelly's mother personally saw the Pure Land Trinity appearing in front of her eyes. So it was Kelly's mother who saw, who had the sighting. Personally saw Padma Kumara appeared together with the Pure Land Trinity. And the mother's sisters personally heard the music of the chanting Buddha Amitabha. So therefore, at the moment of death of the grandma, they had these spiritual responses. The Pure Land Trinity appeared. Although the sick person could not speak, she listened to the Buddha's chanting, mantra chanting, and also followed in her heart. She listened, and then the Pure Land Trinity appeared, and it was seen by Kelly's mother. and heard by Kali's end. And after cremation, there were sariras and saririra flowers, colorful ones. See, it can be seen by human beings. It's not that they cannot be seen. So once you gain spiritual response with the root guru and with the yidam, so you say you have followed development stage practices, which mean you have gained spiritual union with root guru and yidam. So you can invoke root guru, the yidam, vajrasattva to personally grant you the empowerment through their dharmakayas. Then you would have received the true empowerment that way. That's my answer to your question. These are all real. Amitabha Sutra had mentioned that if you are single-minded in chanting the Buddha's name for 7 days, 7 nights, then the Pure Land Trinity, Amitabha, and the Padma-kumara, Grandmaster, too will descend. It can be seen with the eyes wide open. So I said that Kali's father was not greatly connected to Buddhism, but now he believes. Question by Lianhua Si Guang from Malaysia. Beloved Grandmaster, I am from Malaysia, Lianhua Si Guang. Grandmaster, you said only by mantra chanting empowerment. If one completes 300,000 mantra recitation and experiences the descent of Ragaraja, that is called the self-empowerment. Correct. You have experienced that Ragaraja had descended, so that's self-empowerment. My question is, I have completed 300,000 recitation of Ragaraja Hat Mantra, but I have never had any dreams or sensation that Ragaraja descended. Instead, many years ago, I wrote a letter requesting for a Ragaraja empowerment and received a reply that Ragaraja empowerment has been conferred. However, before I received the reply letter, I had a dream of Grandmaster conferring the empowerment upon me. In the dream, Grandmaster used your forehead to touch my forehead as the empowerment. When Grandmaster's forehead touched my forehead, I saw Ragaraja appeared inside Grandmaster's head. Then he exited from Grandmaster's brow point and entered my brow point into my head. At first, I thought it was just my imagination, but later, as I was reading sutras, I discovered that Ragaraja was emanated from the crown of Vairocana Buddha. And Grandmaster, you are Vairocana Buddha. So Grandmaster, was this a self-empowerment then? Yes. You have received the Ragaraja empowerment. That after receiving the reply letter, he had the dream that Grandmaster gave empowerment forehead to forehead, and that Ragaraja appeared from Grandmaster's head entering into his head. So that was self-empowerment. So that's why when you completed 300,000 recitations of Ragaraja mantra, that means your mantra chanting is complete. Now you can start the Ragaraja Dharma or deity yoga practice. So you have received the empowerment for Ragaraja. Later on, I had another dream of Ragaraja. This time, he is seated on the lotus of my heart chakra. And in the dream, I continuously chanted Ragaraja mantra. All of the above dreams occurred before I completed the 300,000 recitations. Were they also considered self-empowerment? This is close to spiritual union. So you have received the self-empowerment long ago. The first time you received the mantra chanting empowerment in the dream, Grandmaster conferred forehead to forehead empowerment. That's the most precious empowerment of equality. And then Ragaraja entered from Grandmaster's head onto your heart. And then you dreamt that Ragaraja was seated on your heart chakra. So that's the same as self-empowerment. Congratulations. So that's Lenhua Si Guang from Malaysia. That's a very nice spiritual response. So this is called the seeing or sighting in the dream. One is seeing or sighting in meditation, and while awake or with eyes open. So Kelly's mother is considered lucid sighting, which is seeing with the eyes open. Deep affinity with the Buddha. Lianhua Menghua from Taiwan. It's been a long time since I saw you. When I was in Taiwan, every evening we let disciples make offering. This person, Lianhua Menghua, was really incredible. Every time, she's always at the door to the restaurant or inside the restaurant, waiting for blessings. So she would know. She's incredible. She would always know where we would dine, which restaurant we would go every evening. She would know and appeared every day. The only time that she did not appear is that if we go to the restaurant the first time or to go to very far places. Asked by Lianhua Menghua, Master, I am Lianhua Menghua. You don't have to say it, I know. I know who you are. The night before last night, on May 10th, which is the 18th of the lunar month, I chanted to Buddha Sutra once to pray to Grandmaster to bless me. So, on Monday morning at 5 a.m. Taiwan time, I dreamt of Grandmaster giving this teaching. Grandmaster said, quickly, you have to open your chakras and channels. You want to rub the navel chakra and tap at the 3-finger width below the navel you can open the navel chakra, then you can feel warmth. So my question is, what kind of practice is this? Do I need empowerment? And what is the proper procedure? So now I would like to tell Lianhua Menghua. So rubbing the navel or the navel chakra, you use your hand to rub the navel chakra clockwise 14 times and then counterclockwise with the left hand 14 times, and then beat or tap at the navel, which is 3 finger width below the navel, is called the life generation palace. You have to beat on it so that it can generate warmth. This is considered the Vajra fist exercise to open the navel chakra. So slapping it or rubbing it, both. Grandmaster, every night before taking shower, after I take off all my clothes, I would perform the yoga exercise to open the 7 chakras. And one of them is to rub to the right 14 times, to the left 14 times, and then slapping the navel chakra. That's the method to open the navel chakra. I do it every day. So Grandmaster said, quickly you have to open your chakras and channels, and you do need empowerment. The second level empowerment, the second empowerment for inner tantric practices. The first level empowerment is including the 4 preliminary practices, Root Guru Yoga and Yidam empowerments. Refuge empowerment for preliminary practices empowerment, Root Guru Yoga empowerment, Yidam empowerment, inner Tantra empowerment. Once you receive the refuge empowerment, you can also receive the inner Tantra empowerment. So you can practice them all together. Root Guru, Yidam, and inner Tantra. Now it's like this. Generally, you have to follow the development stages. If you have gained spiritual union with Yidam, then the Yidam will help you do the inner tantric practices. That would be even better. But even if you don't, you can still practice the inner tantric practices together. Or the 4 preliminary practices, or the Root Guru Yoga. So you need to ask for an inner Tantra empowerment. After you receive the empowerment, then you can practice to open the chakras and channels. So this is for Lianhua Menghua. We are very familiar. She's always there with her boyfriend. And interestingly, she always gets a group of people. And then they're waiting at the door to the restaurant, waiting for my blessings, and they receive blessings every night. Because in Taiwan, every evening, we always have disciples making meal offering to us. And sometimes lunch and dinner too. Sometimes lunch too. and dinner times all with full schedule, then we start scheduling lunch. Otherwise, we just let the disciples make offering for dinners, but we eat our own breakfast and lunch. And Lian Hua Meng Hua always there for every dinner with her boyfriend and many other fellow disciples. She would report where Grandmaster is, having dinner now, let's go to the restaurant and wait. From Taiwan, Lian Hua Cheng Lang, homage to Grandmaster. Do we need an empowerment to chant the Taoist mantra of round heaven and square earth? Round heaven and square earth by the 9 chapters of the laws. May the 5 organs be normal, eternally peaceful and healthy. There is this mantra, round heaven and square earth by the 9 chapters of laws. May the 5 organs be normal, eternally peaceful and healthy. So every night before sleep, you would hold the place where your heart is and you would chant 天圆地方莅临九藏，五脏均常，愿永宁康。So, by chanting this, we wish to be healthy. The 5 organs are the heart, lungs, kidneys, liver, and spleen. And we treat these 5 organs as 5 gods, and they are normal. May they be normal. And we pray to be eternally enjoying peace and health. So this mantra, Taoist mantra, round heaven and square earth. The heaven is round, the earth is square. And there are 9 levels of round heavens and square earth. May the 5 organs be normal. And we wish to enjoy peace and health.
那个时候啊，道家的师父教的这个咒语是这样：每天晚上睡觉的时候，
The Taoist teaches us that every night before sleep, you hold the 5 organs with the heart at the center and you chant this mantra 7 times. This way, you would be healthy. This was taught by a Taoist master. And you can receive this remote empowerment to chant this mantra. You can write a letter. If one is unable to personally receive the empowerment to draw Fu or talisman, either in Seattle or Taiwan, is there another way? Is there an exception for this empowerment? If you can gain spiritual union with the root guru, once you gain spiritual union with the root guru, the lineage root guru, you can pray to the root guru to confer the empowerment to draw the talismans in your dream. That's the only exception. Otherwise, you have to receive the empowerment personally.
对吧？化无灌顶一定要清灌。化无灌顶，上师也可以化无灌顶，是不是？上师知道吗？
Masters should be able to give this empowerment, right?
连传已经看了，化福灌顶，所有的上师都可以给你化福灌顶。
So all the Dharma masters are able to grant this empowerment to draw talismans. 好。这个上师本身呢，有实修过化福的上师。 So the masters have to be ones who have been drawing talismans for other peoples, and they have done the real practice. So you can ask to receive empowerments from other masters.
有一个人去求一个算命的。
Someone asked a fortune teller,
在命盘上看来
and the fortune teller said,
会被骗，有
"Oh,
破财的迹象。
from your reading, it looks like you would be cheated
会被骗多少钱？
this time, and you would lose money." And he asked how much about, and he replied about 3,000. It should be Taiwan dollars.
谢谢，我会留意的。那我今天该给你多少钱？
And then, okay, I will pay attention. And then how much do I have to pay you? $3,000.
这个我们学佛的人呢，知道有。
So, as Buddhists,
也有改运。
we know about the study of faith and destiny, and also the practices or the ways to change our destinies. So, as Buddhists, we don't go to fortune tellers typically.
那么大家知道的算命有很多。
We all know that many fortune tellers are scams.
真正的是有命啊，被算到没命。
The real one is the most fortune tellers are they tell the fortune until you have no more fortune. So they're scams. But of course there's some that's real ones. Like Lian Ting Gang, someone with integrity. Lian Ting Gang. There's another person called Li Chunfeng, Yan Tian Gang, Liu Bowen, Dongfang Se. These are all a true true masters of divination. They did research on the elements, to feng shui, geomancy, the birth signs, and how much each individual brings upon birth. You know, I've said this. A human being would carry how much sunlight, moonlight, or starlight at the time of your birth. The date and time of your birth determines how much sun, light, moonlight, and starlight you're born with. By the Master Yan Tian Gang, you use the kind of measurement. It's like so by the Yan Tian Gang would measure your quantity. And then the other type of divination is called the TBSN Su, which is the iron board divination. And the master Sao Kang Jie. Very accurate. If you follow Sao Kang Jie, they would calculate based on the hour, the minute, the second. The hour, the minute, the date, the month, and the year of your birth. Most people just pay attention to the year, month, date, and which hour. But in 1 hour, there are 60 minutes. And they can perform divination based on the minute of your birth. And they can calculate your father's zodiac, your mother's zodiac, and then also their family names. If those were correct, they can continue to calculate everything else. So Sao Kang Jie, they have so many chapters, and then which one is your destiny? And then if you open those, it's completely accurate. Like how much salary you will get in which year can be calculated, can be divined, can be prophesied. Like which year you would be cheated out of how much money by who, and the name of the person who cheats you, and in what year who would become your wife, and the name of the wife, and how many sons and daughters you will have. So 少子艺术盐田刚波温东方社李淳风 Those are true masters of divinations. They are half sage, half divine, half mundane. They have certain great origins. The same with Grandmaster. Half divine, half mundane. At the place of Golden Mother, I met several of the half divine, half mundane people. I have met them. Some prophets, very accurate, like the iron board divination. If the first one was accurate, which means then everything else can be predicted very accurately, and your destiny is there. Sao Kang Jie and Yan Tian Gang. You can predict yourself, like how much measurement. Mine is 4.7. It's based on the year, month, date, and hour. So 4.7 is that you don't rely on your families and you would prosper at old age. So it means you don't have to rely on your father, mother, or siblings. You have no reliance on them at all. Like if you rely on the mountain topples, and you rely on other people and people ran away. See, I didn't rely on my dad, my mom, or my brothers, or my siblings. I rely on myself and prosper as I age. The older I get, the better it gets. That's my destiny. Nothing else. Check that. Calculating your measurements. Yan Tian Gang Ping Liang. You can predict, you can calculate it yourself based on your birth date and time. The wife said, Happy, I went shopping and I saw several beautiful clothes. I really want to buy them. And the husband said, no, please don't buy more. Your closet is completely full. And the husband said, okay, fine. I will not buy the clothes. And the husband said, good wife, good honey. But the wife replied, well, instead, let's go buy a closet. Human desire Human desire is insatiable. You have to be content. If you're content, you're lucky. Grandmaster, up till now, has no desire. I have no desire. You want to be content. Only when you're content that you would be fortunate. Desire, that's human world. Now we will expound Lamdre. The verse. The terrifying ghost channel of agony. The terrifying channel is located inside the two kidneys. If the mind qi accumulates there, that is the mind sensation. In the dream sensation, there will be fear and terrifying things. In the bodily sensation, there will be fearful behaviors. In quote, the agony channel is primarily located in both feet, in between the toe and the back of the feet, and generally located at the big toes. If the mind qi accumulates there, one will experience agony and suffering in the three sensations. The ghost channel is primarily located at the ring fingers of both hands and generally located at the fourth toes of the feet. If the mind qi accumulates there, one will experience the sensation of being disturbed by ghosts. The verse, yawning teary channel. Its lower location is outside the kidney, and the upper location is at the convergent channel of the two eyes. If the mind qi accumulates there, there will only be a bodily sensation, which is teary eyes and continuous yawnings. Those are the spiritual experiences of generating all kinds of natural phenomena. As for the remaining two, they arise regardless of the stages. Just let it be and maintain it. I believe you understand this.
我们常常会有恐怖的事情发生，恐怖的事情发生，或者你有恐惧，心里有恐惧的感觉。
So sometimes we have fear or horrifying things happen. It's because the mind qi is at the two kidneys. If the qi accumulates at the kidneys, then it would generate a sensation of fear. And the heart would be fearful or panic. So if the qi accumulates at the kidneys, then you would feel panic-stricken fear. And then in the bodily sensation, you would be fearful behaviors. That's because the qi is at the two kidneys. And the agony channel, primarily located at the both feet, in between the big toe and the back of the feet. So if the qi accumulates between the big toe and the back of the feet, then you would feel agony and suffering. If the mind qi accumulates there, one will experience agony and suffering in the three sensations. So make sure that the qi does not accumulate between the big toe and the back of the feet. And the ghost channel is primarily located at the ring fingers. These are ring fingers. On the hands or the fourth toes of the feet. If the mind qi accumulates there, one will experience the sensation of being disturbed by ghosts. Also the verse includes yawning and teary channel. So when you yawn, you would tear in your eyes. That's normal. It's often found. Its lower location is outside the kidneys, and its upper location is at the convergent channel of the two eyes. So if the qi is outside the kidneys, then you would yawn and there would be tears flowing from your eyes. And the upper location is at the two eyes. Then tears will flow from your eyes and you would yawn. That's the bodily sensation. And all kinds of other phenomena of the qi. And the remaining two, they would arise. So the increase of the qi So just let it be and maintain it. They often say this, maintain and let it be. We just go with the flow. Just let it be. So that will happen. So for us, most importantly, in Tibetan medicine, it is mentioned when you feel very fearful, you want to let the qi leave your kidneys, then your fearful feelings will disappear. That's based on Tibetan medicine. Or when you feel very sad and miserable, then you move the qi to other places, not at the back of your feet or at the 2 big toes or 2 thumbs. Move it to other places. And for the ghost channels, is at the ring fingers of the hands or the 4th toes of the feet. And if you disperse them, then you would not be disturbed by ghosts. This is also a method to move the qi from those places. About yawning and teary eyes, this is no big deal. Yawning or your eyes tearing, that's just normal. Sometimes it feels good to yawn, and it feels good to cry, to have your eyes tearing. And you would sleep well at night after you cry and after your tears flow. That's no big deal. And then for the first 3, you have to move the qi from those places. These are all kinds of spiritual experiences or sensations that occur. That's what they taught us. The next one is talking about channels and characters. If you don't practice the channels, it would be very difficult to understand what they're talking about inside here. Lao Zhang went to the market and wanted to buy cowhide or leather. And he asked, hey, is this waterproof? And the boss said, come on, have you ever seen a cow using an umbrella during rain? Leather, of course, is waterproof. Is it waterproof? It should be waterproof. So, leather clothing, is it waterproof? Simu said, no, it's not waterproof.
告诉大家一件事情，生活中的每一件事
Everything in the daily life can be summed up by 3 words. It will pass. It will pass. I use this method to alleviate my griefs and afflictions, worries and troubles. It's a very good way. It will pass. Sometimes we are sick. It will pass. Oh, you have some pain. It will pass. No need to be sad. You encounter something bad. It will pass. Someone scolded you today. It's okay. It will pass. Then you have no more afflictions, no more sadness. Sometimes my Dharma teachings doesn't go really well. I felt it's kind of stuck and not going smoothly. And that my Dharma teaching today is not going smooth. But I would say, I will pass. It passed. I will not be bothered by it. It will pass. So there's a statement in the Diamond Sutra. The past has passed. The present will become the past. And the future will become the present. And the present will become the past. So what are you worried about? Some people worry about the earthquake. What are you worried about? After the earthquake, it'll be all gone. So after the quake, it will not happen again, right? So it'll pass, right? So everybody will be the same anyway. So I have no misery, but you do. Why? It's no use. And you say that the house is going to tumble and would make people die. You know, well, if they're supposed to die, they die. If they're not supposed to die, they don't. You know, when they're supposed to die, then they just die. They just die like that. It'll be good too. So if you don't die from it, it's okay too. Everything is okay. That's how I think about it. That's why I said there's no need to be in misery before or after. You know, Sakyamuni Buddha has said that everything is impermanent, everything is unrelated to me, and extinction is bliss. And what is extinction is bliss? Everything is gone, everything is past. So what is extinction is bliss? Everything is gone. And the earth explodes, and you're still miserable and worried by the comet hitting the earth, and the comet is as big as the earth, and then the 2 planets would explode and disappear. It's okay. What are you worried about? Everybody will be the same anyway. Alcohol is a good thing. After Li Bai, the poet, drank it, he can create poems, and Wusong drank it and could subdue the tigers, and I drink it and long for you. Alcohol is also not a good thing. You should not drive after drinking. If you drink, you often make mistakes. If you are out of control or you're drunk, you should never get drunk. Let's watch the presidential election of United States this year. One is 74 years old, the other one is 77 years old. So two elderlies, for the sake of one job, worked so hard and argued. And even when they're sick, they still did not work. They are so serious and hardworking. So how could the young people still get lazy? Why don't you do your practice well? Look at these two elderlies. One is 74, the other one is 77. Just for the sake for a job. They work so hard. And this is the last and they competed and worked so hard. And you, the young people, you don't work hard in your cultivation? Om Mani Padme Hum.